Hey guys,
Hello,
I'm Alexis,
I'm Christina.
and we are Pitter Pat.
Pittsburgh.
Yes, we are.
So, how's your week been? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I had the whole week off, so I've been sleeping a whole lot. Like getting my rest done, everything. Um, on an underrated note, being home is great and all, and not having to work is like you don't have to worry about going to work and everything. But damn, like being alone in your home when there's like no one there and like you spend a whole week by yourself, it gets kind of depressing, not gonna lie. Like I need communication and I need it now.
I bet. Does your mom like work all day?
Yeah, she does. She works and then most of the time she's not even home most days. So I am here by myself most times. And I've caught up a lot of shows and stuff, but at the end of the day, I don't know if it's because it's seasonal depression, but damn, it's getting rough.
I bet. I mean, it's a long time, and I guess eventually you run out of stuff to do, or like at some point you want to do something else. So,
Yeah. I'm glad that I have a job now though, because those 3 months I didn't have a job was especially rough.
I bet.
And then yeah, and the next week I'm going back to work. Actually, yesterday I met up with my work friends and we had chicken wings. So it
That's
was really nice to like see them. And I was like, I can't believe I missed you guys. And they're like, we miss you too. And I was like, oh my God, it's so weird not going to work. And they're like, well, we miss you. I forgot you still work here. And I was like, damn, you guys already forgot that I worked there.
it's only been a week. Oh my gosh. Do you go back starting like tomorrow or?
I go back starting Tuesday. So
Oh,
I still have like a day. But tomorrow I'm gonna be so busy anyway. I have to get ready and I have to go like wash my clothes and I have to like get my life ready because I'm starting work again on Tuesday. So I have to get all that stuff done.
true.
Um, getting my life started up again. So I feel like this week has been a little bit too easy. Like I feel like there's a part of me that's like, damn. It's nice to relax, but also what is the point where I'm like, damn, it's a little too much relaxation here.
Yeah, understandable. I've had that same feeling. Like, even though I'm productive, I'm too productive to the point where, like, now if I'm not doing anything, I'm like, I should definitely be doing something right now.
Oh yeah. But
It's
that's
so
like the
bad.
college feeling, dude. That's college
That's
feeling.
true. That's true. There's always a little assignment creeping
There's
on
a little
away.
assignment in the corner.
Honestly, though, I did all of my Japanese homework for like the whole week this morning because I had that feeling that I was gonna forget if I didn't do it all now. So, 'tis done.
If anything is motivating you, take it, honestly. Cause college is one of those moments where like the most underrated part is the fact that you still have to do work and stuff and you have to like do homework and the fact that you put effort into like finding motivation to do it, that's enough. That is enough to get you by. I feel like that's enough to get you graduating like as much fast as you want to be, because that, if anything, you need to motivate yourself to get up and you have to motivate yourself to still do the work. That's why I feel like I'm at a quarter life crisis right now. You know what those are? Like a quarter life crisis.
I haven't been there yet, but I know what they are.
Oh yeah, I'm hitting mine like crazy recently. Um, Basically it's that thing after college where you're gonna experience this real soon. Basically, you'll be stuck in a moment where you're like, damn, I have nothing to do because I have assignments to work on. But then again, like what do I do with my life at this point? So get ready for that.
Love that for me.
Love that for you too.
The semester has honestly gone by really fast. I just scheduled for my spring semester classes on Thursday, which is a trip because I was checking every single day to make sure there were spots available in the classes that I needed to take. And one of them filled up literally the morning of schedule.
What?
I had to um get into a backup class in order to fulfill my minor requirements for criminology. So I still have to take that class at some point. Maybe I'll take it next fall, but it's So dumb. Scheduling is so dumb.
Welcome not being a freshman anymore. Because when you're a freshman, there's like 5 classes of the same stuff. Like 5 classes, same introductory stuff. And you're like, I can just get into this teacher instead. And then when you're hitting like that stride in sophomore year where you're like, oh my God, my junior classes are always packed.
Right? When you hit like 300, 400 level, it's like quite difficult to get into some of those. But it is what it is. I have 4 classes that I'm registered for. I'm going to be taking a 5th one, but I'm waiting for my department to tell me if I can take 2 French classes next semester,
Ooh,
just to
good
like
luck with that.
speed up requirements. At least it's the same professor that I've always had, so I kind of know what to expect.
Well, 2 is gonna be really tough because I've taken 2 Chinese classes at the same time before, and it was like, because language classes are so underrated when it comes to the amount of workflow they give you. Because I swear, like you have homework every single day, like
Yes.
every single day for like no reason. You're like, oh yeah, and then they're like, oh yeah, don't forget to reread this thing and like highlight these paragraphs and understand these paragraphs for the end of next week because we're going to quiz by the end of the week. And I'm like, wait a second, my actual classes that I take my major aren't even this bad.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons, because for my Asian studies minor that I have, I had to do a language requirement, so that's why I've been taking Japanese, and I'm on the final Japanese class to meet that requirement, so I don't have to take one next semester, and I'm super excited because it's so much homework every week. It's like 2 worksheets, 2 quizzes, 2 dialogues I have to memorize per week, and it's like cancel this already. I can't wait to be done, but it's really fun to learn, but like you said, like language classes are really like reading and writing intensive. It's a lot.
It's a lot. Like, you have a quiz pretty much every single week, if not like every other week at this point.
Yeah, or at least like for my French class, because it's like a French history class. Instead of a quiz every week, we have to do a reflection on the reading every week. So it's like
Oh
one
god.
full page of just like my thoughts in French on the reading. And half the time I like space out reading it anyway, so I'm just like making up for whatever I can say, whatever I can remember. But I like it.
Oh, oh, you just freeze? Oh, you didn't freeze?
No,
You just
I
finished
just
train of
finished
thought?
my phrase. I finished the thought.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, damn, this is this my internet lagging this much?
No, yeah, it's not you.
Okay. But yeah, like language learning is it's amazing because I love languages too. I love learning them because I feel like you can get so many new friends, or you could go and travel the world and not have to worry about things like, that if you learn Mandarin, Spanish, and English, you can like not conquer, but you can like talk to pretty much a good percentage of the world.
Yeah, that's so true. That's crazy.
Yeah, and by learning even more languages, that's even more of
More
the world
people.
that you can like learn, you can make friends with, or you can go and travel and worry about translator. Like you're learning Japanese right now, you can go to Japan right now, pretty much right now, at least get by. And that's important. That's so cool. Like you don't understand how cool that is. Like
I'm on my way. I'm kidding.
go to France and I mean you've learned it for about a good amount of time now. You probably could not worry about a translator as much as you would if you didn't learn it at all.
Mhm.
Like, how would you say your French is? I feel like that's a really important question.
Um, I would say I'm at a upper level intermediate. I took a mini test online to see what my level was, and it was intermediate, but I don't remember the specifics because there's like categories, which I don't know if they have in other languages, but it's like I think it's either A B C or C B A. I forget what the order is, but B is like in the middle. That's where I am.
Okay.
Mm. All the grammar and stuff makes sense. The only thing is like having more vocabulary to be able to talk about like really obscure things like skiing or something. Honestly.
Yeah, honestly, I think we're pretty much the same level when it comes to like language. Even though Mandarin is my second language, I can understand better than I can read or write. So I feel like my reading and writing here add all together, it would be like medium or like upper medium, like upper intermediate. Um, but yeah, I understand what you mean. Like it's all vocab at this point. It's just you have to get those vocab out and then use that in sentences, and it's just. I mean, it helps when you have friends. Like I'm pretty sure you have a lot of friends that do speak with you in French, so you could.
Yeah, and I have my professor and stuff. Yes.
Do you have French friends, like people who actually are from France and they want to like talk to you and stuff?
I did have one or two online friends that I lost contact with. There is one girl in the French club who's from Canada, so she has
Mm.
a French Canadian background, which I've spoken to her a little bit, but she's been pretty busy, so I haven't really been able to talk to her very much. So I mostly
Mm.
just talk to my French professor, or I watch like videos or something.
Oh, okay, okay. I mean, isn't Canadian French different from like French French? Because I feel like it's like kind of like that divide between like Spanish and like Puerto Rican Spanish. You know, I think there's a difference, right?
Yeah, there is a difference. I mean, my French professor is not even from France either, so I'm getting he's from Senegal, he's African. So he rolls his R's instead of doing the sound. So I feel more inclined to like acquire his accent because Spanish, we roll our R's too. But I tried to make it sound like I'm from France. Try.
Oh yeah, I mean, like definitely try to like learn from them because their French is, it's French,
Mhm.
but it's probably has like that speech dialectical difference
Mhm.
that could make it a little bit more different. But then again, I mean, like it's important to learn from them and then watch videos of like actual French stuff and then learn from that as well. So you're not inclined to like one side or the other.
Right. I was watching so lately I haven't been on like YouTube or anything like at all. I've just been watching crime documentaries for the past like week and a half. Like I literally put them on like in the background, but earlier I had one on in the background while I was doing my Japanese homework, and they had like French journalists that they were interviewing for the documentary. So I just like turned the captions off while they were talking to see if I knew what they were saying. So I do little things like that, which is I'm slowly getting there. Because sometimes they talk too fast, or like I obviously don't talk about like homicides, so I don't know some of the vocabulary with anybody, but it's a learning process.
You know what's really good that I found like recently, Disney Plus. Do you have Disney Plus? You do? You
Mm-hmm.
can change the audio every single show you can probably think of to French if you really wanted to. There is an audio dub you can do of every single language, and I think that's been helping me so much with my Mandarin. Is just to watch shows that I've already watched a million times. Like I already know what happens in the episode, and then I watch it in Mandarin, and I can catch on the small things I never caught on before
Mm.
because I feel like the one thing that I'm trying to work on is my vocabulary, and this is what you're trying to do right now with your French. Would be really good if you watch shows from Disney Plus and like just change the audio so it could just be
Mm.
French.
I might have to start doing that now.
Ayo. And like I know what you mean with like you've been taught a certain way and then you want to be able to understand what happens in mainland. Cause for me, I've been speaking Taiwanese Mandarin my entire life. So it's all Taiwanese Mandarin. And um recently, you know what I'm watching recently? To like get like to be able to understand what happens in like mainland China so I can like be able to know vocabulary differences and stuff like that. I've been watching um Lisa was on that Chinese show?
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
I've been watching that. I've been watching like their idol producer.
That's smart.
like back to back. They're 3-hour episodes, and I'm like, why are they so long? But then
Jeez,
again, I've
that's
been
really long.
catching up from small things because I've been watching that, and I've been watching dubbed Disney Channel shows.
That's
That's
so
like my
cool though.
resource.
I have to invest in some, I don't know, Marvel content, but make it French instead.
Honestly, I think there's. Oh my god, I can look this up recently, right now for you if you want me to. So basically, I think. I can look at my phone. My phone's right here. What am I doing with my life? So I think Loki. You can still find it in French. You can watch literally. You can watch literally Loki in French if you
Oh,
want to.
Shang-Chi is on Disney Plus finally.
Yes, it is.
Hey,
It is in Disney Plus. I've been rewatching it.
it's
Over
such
like
a
a
good
course of
movie.
yesterday. I watched the whole thing yesterday again. I don't know why I said I've been watching it. No, I've been like actually watching it.
It's
I
such a
watched
good movie.
it. It's so good. You should rewatch it. You should rewatch it.
I should. I'd want to watch it with my sister, but she's probably gonna go to bed early today because she has school tomorrow. Maybe we could watch it a little later. How do you change? Well, I guess I have to
So
start the episode first, right? I'm gonna try this.
yeah, go ahead and start up the episode, and there should be are you watching it through your phone or are you watching it through a computer?
Oh, I got it. Yeah, yeah, on my computer. In the top right, I clicked like the little like caption box, and then it has
Yeah,
like.
yeah, it should be in there. And you should have an option to change the audio and then a chance to change the subtitles. So I've been just changing the audio, and they've been adding some more languages. Like recently, it's like been last month. They finally added Taiwanese Mandarin to everything. So
That's
that's what I've been doing. I've
cool.
been like watching shows in Taiwanese Mandarin because they finally put that selection on there because I knew they had it. I mean, I used to watch Phineas and Ferb in when I was in Taiwan visiting my grandparents. Like it was in Taiwanese
Yeah.
Mandarin. I was like, I
And
know they have it. I know they have it.
that's so exciting. Because then they also have French captions, so I can practice reading and listening if I really wanted to.
Hell yeah, you can. So that's everyone out there listening right now. Basically, it's a new thing to Disney Plus. You guys should go check it out. Honestly, not no no ad.
Yeah, because Netflix doesn't always have that option. It has like just a few languages, but that's so cool.
Yeah, all animated shows. I think this is all animated shows as well. You'll definitely be able to switch languages between animated shows. And I know for like live action shows, you're gonna have to figure out how they want to do it because I know right now that there are some like live action shows that you won't be able to change the languages as much. But I know like French is one of those languages where I know they pretty much have it for every single like show out there on
Mhm.
Disney Plus. Also, they guys change the app language. So you can go in settings in your profile
Oh,
and you
true.
can
Yeah.
change the app language. So you can just pretty much change the whole app to French if you wanted to.
Very true.
And then whenever you want to change back to English, just go back to audio settings and change it back to English. So you want to watch the episode specifically in English. You can like change it back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. That's what I've been doing.
That's so smart. About to watch Cars and learn French from watching Cars.
You should try to watch Cars 2 in French. I know there's some French cars in there.
Mhm.
And then it'd be really
That'd
cool,
be
like watch
funny.
it in French. You see the French cars talking in French.
There are honestly so many shows on here that I haven't even like looked at, and movies too, because I usually just use this to watch like Marvel stuff.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff on Disney Plus you could watch because I've rewatched shows in English and then I'm like, oh my god, let's watch this again in Mandarin. So I've been like watching it like multiple times. That's a different experience, like watching it in the first language and then going into like watching it again in the second language. Like, oh, it's the new movie. This is a new movie.
Right? What a day. You learn something new every day.
Exactly. And my mom was like, there's no way you could change the audio. It's an American streaming service. And I'm like, but they're adding more countries. They have to be adding more languages. And then sure enough, I found it and I was like, yes, my mom was wrong.
Got him.
Got him.
Yes. Also, if you hear anything, my sister is practicing her cello upstairs.
Amazing.
Yes. She has auditions for like a county orchestra, I think this week, sometime this week. So she's doing her little thing.
That's amazing.
Yes.
I give her my thumbs up.
Thank you. I wish I could play an instrument.
I used to. When
Yeah.
I was in middle school, I used to play the violin. So same strings, but different instrument.
Very cool. I just wanted to play the drums or the saxophone. I don't know why. Drums, I mean, I really like them. But the saxophone, I don't know why. Just always wanted to. Oh my gosh, you'll never guess what I did yesterday. So my sister had to go to work, and I think I've said this before. Well, you know that my favorite animal is a penguin.
Yeah.
So I have penguin plushies, and they're all named Pingu after the show. So the very first Pingu that I got, or not the very first one that I started calling Pingu, I bought him at an airport, or my stepdad bought it for me at an airport, and he's a like stuffed animal like penguin, but he turns into a neck pillow. So he's like used for traveling. And he was like really dirty, and I like don't want to replace him yet because he's been to like South Korea with me. He's been like he's Mr. Worldwide as a penguin. So I was literally coming up with like a concoction. I poured like an entire box of baking soda, Clorox, water, laundry detergent. And I was hand washing this penguin for like 30 minutes to try to get him clean because he's like 4 or 5 years old.
Oh my gosh.
I let him soak in that and I left to go get my hair trimmed. When I came back, the water drained. So I guess I didn't plug the sink enough. So he was just sitting there like just a squishy blob covered in baking soda. But I finally got it. And he's finally clean. But I literally tried everything. Cause he's not like a plushie. He's like what's that thing called? It's almost like sand like inside of him. I
A
don't
beanie
know.
baby?
Yeah, something like that. So I was trying to get him clean, but it's like he's not really just something I can throw in the washer and call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So now I have to wash the other Pingus because I have two of them that I take with me to school, but I'm bringing a third one because it's a pillow pet, so I can use it like more as a pillow. I have a blanket, pajamas. It's so bad. Honestly, people just
It's not.
people
It's
enable
not.
me. My parents bought me a blanket, a matching wallet, the pajamas, the plushies. I even have a speaker. Like it's a plushie with built-in speakers. It's a penguin plushie with built-in speakers. I can put my phone in like an aux. There's so much going on.
There's nothing going on, honestly. You have a valid collection and it's beautiful.
It's so funny though, because I feel like I don't know, maybe people just don't expect me to like penguins that much. I went to the zoo like 2 weeks ago, and that's all I was looking forward to was seeing the penguins. The other animals were cute, but like the pingus.
The pingus.
Pingus.
Is it like just penguin? Like when you say pingu, do you just mean like penguins in general?
Yeah. I just because I like the show Pingu so much, it's like the claymation of a penguin.
Mhm.
Pingu.
Yeah.
I just ended up calling every penguin a Pingu.
Did you watch Pingu in United States? Like you guys have watched it here?
No, I'm pretty sure my first exposure to it was in Puerto Rico. That's where
Okay.
honestly I watched a lot of cartoons that I didn't realize were over here because we always just had like Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, but like a lot of that like PBS Kids or like Noggin, that kind of stuff I was watching it in PR, and then when we came here I was like, whoa, I didn't know this existed over here.
Yeah, because Pingu, I had no idea it was in the United States at all. I always watch it when I went to Taiwan, so my
Yeah,
cousins.
yeah.
And so I
That's
was
so
like,
weird.
Pingu's here, like in this country. Like I feel would watch it here. Like I don't. I was watching in Mandarin. I could always watch it in Mandarin when I was there. Yeah, I
Yeah,
would never watch it like in. I've never heard in English before. I've never actually watched it in English before.
I think I did because I remember I was gonna watch the whole show like front to back, but I started it. Honestly, he doesn't really say that much. He just goes noot noot, and the narrator like occasionally says something. But I should watch it again. Should watch some more.
You could watch it in French.
You're right.
You could just spend your life watching stuff in French. Just so we'll just watch all of Disney movies that you've already watched just in French. I mean, that would be
Exactly.
amazing if you like just watch them all. I'm pretty sure your French would just like improve by like a lot.
Yes. I'm pretty sure Pingu is Japanese, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
that makes sense.
Everything I've ever seen is like Japanese merch and stuff. Which I think is so funny because one of the other shows that I watched, like all the time in PR, that I also didn't realize was like overseas is Pororo, the little penguin, like the blue one with
Oh
the
yeah, it's
glasses.
Korean.
Yeah, I never
Korean.
realized that either because I watched it all the time in PR, and then like I would see like birthday cakes and like plushies in Korea or like Korean media, and I was like, how do they know about him? Yes.
Yeah, I mean there was a lot of um I want to say there was one in Taiwan that I used to watch like all the time, and like I had no idea it was American for like the longest time. Like I don't remember which one it was. There was like one show that I watched. Um, we in Taiwan call it 小叮当, or
Mm,
and but in Japanese it's Doraemon. It's like a little like time machine,
yeah.
blue. That one that I don't know if you know Doraemon. It's like a
How do you spell it? Let me look it up.
DOR.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The blue. Is it a
He's like a little
tiger?
like time machine.
He's so cute. I do remember. I don't think I've ever seen it though.
I for the longest time I thought it was Taiwanese. Like I had no idea it was Japanese. Like for so long, because I would always like just my exposure to it's always been when I would visit my
Mhm.
cousins because
Yeah.
they loved watching that, and I was too old. But I would when I would watch, I was a kid, but it would always be in Mandarin, so I would like
Mhm.
have no idea that it was Japanese. Like there's so many Japanese comics that I watched for so long that I didn't know were Japanese, or I would watch anime. I would watch anime in Taiwan, and then they would just dub it over, and then with the mouth was still matched, so I had no idea.
They really fooled us for so long.
I know.
It's so interesting how that works. Because like my whole perception of like childhood like cartoons and stuff I grew up on, it's like completely switched. Because I just assumed for the longest time, like, oh, obviously they're going to be streaming shows from America. But they were not doing that. There's probably so many more that I just don't remember that I watched.
Yeah, me too. I mean, there are so many just words. I feel like there's words in general where I was bilingual for like I'm bilingual. So I mean, like when I was a kid, I would hear words in English and I would hear words in Mandarin. And then my dad would collect those words that I were in Mandarin. I had no idea those were Mandarin. I thought they were English for the longest time. And there was a good portion of my life where I would just start using those words in English and they'd be like, this is not in English. And I'd be like, wait a second. You're telling me that this isn't English and my dad just tricked me for so long.
Yes, exactly. It really be like that.
It really did be like that. I'm pretty sure there's words like in Spanish where you had moments where you're like, oh yeah, just this. And they're like, huh? And you're like, you know, this is the word that you use for this. And then we're like, no, we don't use that word. I mean, that's clearly Spanish.
Oh my god. Yes, it definitely happens. Or those words are only used in my family. Like they made up over the years, like some sort of lingo between us, and then I say it to like someone else and they're like, that's not a word.
Yeah, or you like say things that your like parents would always say, and you're like, you guys don't say this? Like this is something that's just specifically in my family. Like you didn't tell me this.
Right? Like my grandma, there's a brand of bugs, like, but it's not bug spray, it's like bug killer, like the can of spray that kills like insects and stuff. There's a brand called Real Kill. And I actually thought that's what that was called, not that it was like bug spray. Because my grandma calls it Real Kill just by the brand, which they do a lot. Like instead of saying diapers, they say Pampers. That's not the object, that's just a specific brand, but that's just what we call them.
Mm-hmm. Like Band-Aid, like you would say Band-Aid, but it should be bandage.
Right.
Band-Aid is just a brand. Or Kleenex. Kleenex is one of them
Yes,
too.
Kleenex.
Like, let's get a Kleenex. And like, you mean like the brand is expensive? And I'm like, no, not Kleenex. I mean like tissue paper.
Exactly. It's crazy how things work.
Exactly.
Language is interesting.
Languages are interesting. I mean, like, there's so much to know about language. Like, you spend your whole lifetime, you'll be able to master it. Like, that's the hard part of learning different multiple languages in general too. Is that one's always been better than the other, and then when one is strong, one other one's gonna fail, and you're like, oh my god, you're telling me that this is in that language, and I've been saying it like this the entire time, or
Right.
you like heard it a certain way your entire life, and you use it in a sentence, and everyone's like, that's not how we say it, and you're like, how do you say it?
That's the thing, like there has to be an equal distribution in order for you to like continue to make progress in a way that doesn't make one language better than the other in your noggin. But it's kind of hard to do that.
I know, right? How do you keep one strong and the other one, you want to keep the other one strong too? Like, how many friends do you have to make in order for your languages to keep up with itself? Like, how many friends do
That's
you
so
need to make?
true. Or like it happened freshman year, but I started developing more of an American accent with my Spanish because I wasn't using it like at all, like for 3 months at a time. So I make it like a thing that whenever I like call my mom or even text her, like call my sister, I use a lot more Spanish just to get that practice out. Because if
Yeah.
not, it's just gonna go down the drain because I'm doing like French and Japanese really, and English, of course. So my friends know English, so
True.
yes.
And I was talking about I was actually talking about this with my mom this morning because she's like, if you want to get better at your Mandarin and you don't want to spend the money to just don't go back to Taiwan every single year, you're gonna have to make some Mandarin speaking friends. And I'm like, God, that requires me to like go outside and like meet people and like I know I can't. I'm so used to making friends in class or making friends like at school, like that's what most people do around our age. And then, yeah, I have to like, we're about the part of my life now where I have to actually go out and like find people or like go go to like meetups and meet friends around my age who want to talk with the same language as me, because I feel like if I don't use it, I'm gonna lose it. And
Yes. Yes.
like, how do you plan to keep your Japanese and French going after college?
Honestly, I mean, I'll continue watching anime. And I have a close friend who's half Japanese who's also kind of been like not a teacher per se, but just like someone I can consult with. So I'll probably practice with her. French, I'm gonna have to make some friends or just keep practicing having conversations with myself. I don't know, I feel like it's all about networking with
Yeah,
like real people. You can only do so much by just like
by
watching
yourself.
videos. Because the problem is like it's easy to read, write, understand, but when it comes to actually like building sentences and like them coming out of my mouth, it's so much harder.
I know what you mean. I mean, like, my mom is a resource, and I feel like she's been a resource since that day I was born, pretty much. But I mean, like, at the end of the day, I mean, like, she has a life, and I need to make friends. Because if I don't make friends around my age, then how am I gonna learn the lingo of my age? How am I going to be able to continue keep making this stronger than I want it to be? Because there's so much I want to learn, and I want to get better. Then again, like, languages are like that. You have to build on them. You have to continue for the rest of your life, or else you're gonna lose it. And you're like, damn, like, no one told me that I had to be bilingual and I had to keep being bilingual for the rest of my life. Like, who told me that this was a thing? I was so happy just being able to talk to my parents. Like, that was enough.
Right? It's crazy.
I
That's the
know.
thing. It's a lifetime commitment, I guess. Commitment's a strong word, but that's basically what it is. Because I
That's something I
can.
thought about. Oh,
No, go ahead, go ahead.
oh.
You're
That's
good.
what I thought about with like polyglots, because they have so many friends in multiple languages, but then how do they keep those languages strong? Like, how do you be able to hold 10 plus languages and keep them at the same pace and not lose one of them, or like be able to make friends with other polyglots that only one talks about in that language? Like, what is common language? What is the moment of comfort and what is the moment of difficulty? Because then it's gonna like, how do you pick a day? Like, today I'm speaking Korean. Today I'm speaking in Japanese. Like, do you just pick a day and just go with that day?
Literally. I guess they must continuously study or try to refresh, or at least immerse themselves in something related to the culture, at least like once a week to kind of keep their memory fresh. I don't know, because some people are like 10 plus languages. Doesn't make any sense,
I
honestly.
know. How do you retain that much vocabulary and not get it confused? Especially Latin-based languages. I feel like Latin-based languages would catch me so off guard when you're like trying to mix French and like just Latin-based language, like German. German is probably one that I'd be like, oh my god, which one's this one? Actually, not German. Like, I mean, Italian and French. I feel like those are pretty similar.
Mhm.
You would start getting confused in both of them. Like, you'd be like, which word's one for this one? Is it for this language? Is it for this language? And you'd just be so confused at all times.
Right?
I feel Spanish and French are pretty similar when it comes to like certain things, right? Like, you would be able to
Yeah. It's more
confuse it.
difficult, I feel like, in terms of reading it though, because if I hear it based on intonation and stuff, I can tell the difference like pretty fast. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I understand. I mean, like, Japanese is the same thing for me. I can read. I can't understand Japanese. Like, if you talk to me in it, I
Mhm.
wouldn't be able to understand it at all. It's when you write it in traditional characters, I understand the context,
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
because that's how I was taught. I was taught traditional Mandarin characters. So that's like the same stuff they use in Japanese.
Right. Yeah, it's the heavy influence. It's crazy how things work.
I know, right?
Everything comes from everything else. It's all one big like melting pot.
Oh, big mess. Its languages are all kind of similar, but also very different in a lot of ways, especially Latin-based languages. Like, they're similar. They come from the same root and everything, but their branches are so diverse.
Right? For
And
sure.
what country does and what other country doesn't. Like Quebec versus regular France. Like, there's differences there too. They're speaking the same language, but they're not technically speaking it in the same way, or they're not
Right.
doing the same dialect. And it's like, what? No one told me these were different. There's subgroups. Subgroups are also different as well.
Right. And the accents. I feel like that's the thing. Like you could tell me the same word or the same phrase, but from different countries, and I'd be like, pause. Please say that again. Because at least like my French professor, even though he has a different accent, he talks slower. So regardless if he says something that I'm kind of like iffy about, I'm gonna get it. But if I'm listening to like someone from Quebec, no,
Hell
it's just
no.
not happening. That requires more time. It's hard to explain, but it's like twangy.
Twangy?
I don't know how to explain what that is. It's
Like
like
it
really
yeah, I kind of know.
like nasally, like
Uh
that's how I've always no offense to anybody who speaks French and they're from Quebec. That's just how I always interpreted it.
Interesting. Twang.
Yes.
I guess a good example of that would be, so when I speak Mandarin, I would Taiwanese Mandarin, so it's more like we don't pay too much attention to like the twisting of tongues. I guess if that makes sense. We
Mhm.
don't use a lot of ers and e's, and we don't um we say 冰块, which is ice cube. We ice cube is 冰块. And then in Beijing they would say it 冰块, like they would actually add like an r to the very end to everything, and they're talking very like in tongues, like they would like say things like 冰块, like it'd be very like
That's
that
so
makes sense.
crazy.
And so different because we actually
Mm.
our root language in Taiwan is not Mandarin per se, because Mandarin's only been there for about maybe like 40 years.
That's
Our original language
disturbing.
is Hokkien. Hokkien, I guess that's the English way of saying it. In Chinese, we call it Minanyu. So it's actually a Min. People call it like a Min language. It's in
Oh.
China. It's dialect in China. It's a Southern Chinese dialect. And they actually have a language for it and everything. So most of the time, people who are in Taiwan, they know both in a way per se. And so our root is actually the Minanyu, which is the Mingnanyu, which is like the language in southern China, and then we add Mandarin on top of it. So we speak Mandarin with a Min accent, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
it's different. Like
That's
that's like
interesting though.
like so I know exactly what you mean with like there's different portions to a language, even though it's very sprouted from the same one. Like
Mhm.
if someone talked to me in Beijing, like we call it Beijing Chang, which is Beijing accent, it would
Mhm.
be more like it'd be hard for me to like try to catch up to it because it is so uri.
Mhm.
It is so uri.
That makes sense though. That's the thing. I think I've told you before, but like I mean, I can say because I'm Puerto Rican, but I always consider Puerto Rican Spanish to be like ghetto. It's like the mumble rap of Spanish, like not fully pronouncing things or just like our R's become L's.
Our R's become L's. So can you give me an example?
Um, so if I want to say like cargar, which means like to carry, we'd be like galgal.
Oh, so it's very quick and like kind
Yeah.
of lazy.
Yes, instead of being like, cárgame esto, por favor. They'd be like, "Cárgame esto." Like where
Oh,
it
you
is,
just go straight to the point. You're like, you know what?
yep,
Not
change
even
the
saying
R to the
please at the
L.
very end. Forget the please.
Right. And then don't change, or sorry, don't use the end of the word like it cuts off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or like if you say like if a car is like parked, you would say el carro está estacionado, but we'd be like estacionado. Like take out the D in that word.
Yeah, it wouldn't have like the extra like bit at the very end. You just go straight to the point.
Yes.
Interesting. I mean,
Yes.
you can speak Spanish with me. It's not. I've lived in LA like until I was 12, and I live in Texas. So Spanish for me
We got
is
lots
like
of Spanish going on.
it's no matter even thinking about it. I mean, I understand some of it because it's just been around me for like forever, my entire life.
Yeah. That's crazy. Sorry, I'm fixing my part. I gotta
But
cut.
yeah, I always find it so cool that Latin America can kind of talk to each other. Like, of course, not talking about Brazilian Portuguese, it's totally different, right? That's only one that you can't really talk to.
Yeah, I can kind of read it and understand it, but it's not really that strong. There's a lot of differences.
Yeah, kind of like how Chinese is Cantonese, even though they're completely close, they're not. They're landlocked, so they're totally different from one another.
Yes, that's crazy.
Yeah. Like I could read Cantonese if you give me context and be able to give it to me in front of me. Like I'd be able to read it because it's all traditional characters as well. But I wouldn't be able to understand it. Like someone talked to me Cantonese, I'd be like, help.
Help me, please. That's so crazy.
Yeah. Everyone says, I mean, when you see Portugal and Spain together, you think that they're kind of similar language wise. But then people forget that there's mountains in the middle, or like there's like lakes in the middle and oceans and things, and then just things that just don't get traded across fast enough, or people who just want to say, you know what, I'm making a new language. I think that's what people did forever.
That's the crazy thing. Like, who just decided I'm gonna come up with my own language? Like, how do you even begin? Because you have to think about like vocabulary, spelling, grammar specifically, or like situational stuff. Crazy.
Yeah. Well, for Chinese, they it's like a 3,000-year-old language, so it's old as heck. It's old as heck. Chinese, in its most basic form, is actually cave writings.
Mm.
It was written as pictures in the most basic form,
Like
and then
hieroglyphs, but not exactly.
yeah, and then those pictures evolved over time, and due to people wanting to be able to teach commoners or people who are like peasants, basically, like people who are just poor and didn't have availability to like have the money to learn such intricate designs, they
Mm-hmm.
made it simpler to the point where the common folk could be able to read and write. And like that's how languages kind of started out, I would think, is that it started from that point. It's like I want to teach everyone how to read and write, and then that's how everyone learned from like cave writings, pretty much. Like that's how it all started, in my opinion.
That's really interesting. That's cool. I always feel like where would we be without those people? Honestly, things would
True.
be
I
so
mean,
different.
a good example of that would be, the story of Hangul. The
Mm-hmm.
story of basically it was just like they used Chinese characters, and people who were at the very bottom didn't have the money to be able to learn such intricate designs. And
Right.
some emperor guy was like, "Hey, what's up? Let's make it simpler for everyone here." And that's how Hangul started.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then there's Latin-based languages, and then there's just French people who just being like, "Hey, you know what? I'm just gonna add this and take out this and put in this and take out that." And of course, there's Spanish putting in the like little squiggly Like, let's just add this in there. And everyone's like, what the heck are you doing? I'm putting it in my language. And that's how Spanish started.
One day they just woke up and were like, you know what? This looks ugly.
How about a squiggle? How about just a little squiggle?
That's so
An
funny.
accent or two?
The way the world works. Very
The way
interesting.
the world works. Exactly.
Yes. Sorry, I'm just focusing on my sister doing her.
It's so like I can hear it. I can hear it from all the way over here.
Yeah,
But
because
it's just like
she's in the room above me, I'm pretty sure, because I'm in my mom's office.
uh
Yeah, I didn't know she was gonna practice, so I would have moved, but like there's an actual desk here, so I can sit here comfortably and not just like hurt my back sitting somewhere else. Yes. I have to pack later because my school town slash like the entire Western PA, they got their first snow over the weekend, which means
what?
I'm
Already?
gonna be I'm gonna be driving back tomorrow. It's supposed to snow. So I have to bring like heavier clothes, probably better shoes, but I'm not ready.
You have to wait a second. Don't you have class tomorrow?
I'm gonna have to miss because I only have one class, luckily that's at noon, but I'm gonna wait for my sister to like get to school so I know she's there and then I'll go. But it's still like 4 hours, so even if I leave at like 8, I won't make it for a 12 o'clock class, especially if I'm driving slower because it's supposed to be snowing. So, because it's not snowing here, but when I cross like a certain point, maybe the halfway point over there is probably gonna be snowing, so I'm gonna slow down.
You're gonna have to. I mean, like, it's going to get real slippery.
Yes. The thing about being over in Western PA is like once it starts snowing, it's like every day. Even if it's just a little bit, it's every day. It's constant.
What?
Yeah.
No, that's terrible. I mean, as long as you guys aren't like Texas. Texas was rough like earlier this year with
Yeah.
like
Texas was
the
crazy.
power shutting off and like the water cutting off because we have no idea how to do in snow. You guys at least have salt people who salt your roads. We don't have that. So
Yeah, no, we're prepared because we're used to it. We know that happens every year. Still though, like these professors, they won't cancel class. Like I have to walk 10 minutes to get to the classroom and they won't cancel and I'm like, bro.
maybe you should move out down in Texas when it snows here. Everything shuts down. Like we don't have class, even
Honestly,
if it's like half an inch. And they're like, you know what, guys, go home.
honestly, they're being more of an inconvenience for themselves because some of these professors live like 40 minutes away. Like why do you want to drive 40 minutes to your job in the snow on the highway? Because there's no other way to get here or get there from like different places unless you take like back roads, which I don't recommend because I doubt they're going to be salted, or like the highway. They're goofy, all for a check, but we have Zoom. We
But we
have
have
Zoom
Zoom.
now. It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
I mean, you guys don't live in Pittsburgh, so I mean, like, you guys aren't in Pittsburgh, so that means if the professors live in Pittsburgh, they're gonna have to drive all the way from Pittsburgh.
No, which is
Like,
crazy.
I would hate to drive 40 minutes from Pittsburgh. Is it 40 minutes from Pittsburgh to Slippery Rock, or is it like,
Yeah, it's 40 minutes. Sometimes more, I guess, depending on traffic, because you know how city life is.
oh my gosh.
I know, right?
If I was a professor, I'd just say, just go home. Just go home. Over like half a foot. I'd be like, you know what, guys, enjoy the snow.
Right. Because the thing about our campus is that it's not flat. It's very much so like hills. We're bound to slip and fall.
We're bound to slip and fall. Oh my
Honestly.
god.
People like
I
sit on trash bags and like sled down the hills all the time.
spit in trash
No,
bags.
they
I'm
sit.
sorry.
They sit on trash bags and like slide down the snow on the hills, like in front
Can you
of.
imagine being late to class? Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Can you imagine being late to class and running in snow and you like fall on your face? That's most likely gonna be me. That would be me.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm definitely gonna fall like once or twice. I've done it before, cause I should buy like rain boots or like winter boots or something, cause I have like Timberlands, but they're so heavy. I'm not gonna walk every day with those on.
you need to get snowshoes and the snow boots, the ones that are like this thick.
Cause my Converse are not gonna cut it.
No, 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 no,
No,
no.
it really be like that. To be fair, I go back tomorrow, but next week I'm already coming back on Tuesday because of Thanksgiving break. So if it does snow this week, I don't really need it.
Just I guess bring it just in case.
Good boy. What if I just brought like ski shoes?
Brought like ski shoes. I mean, definitely if it starts to snow, and I know it's gonna snow like a whole bunch, probably go and invest some nice like thick snow boots just
Yeah.
in case, because you know 3 inches gonna become 5 inches, become 10 inches. What are you gonna do then? You're just gonna cry with your soaking socks.
Yeah, that too. Like my little toes are gonna be cold.
You're gonna have frostbite by the end of the semester.
No. No. That's my biggest concern. Like at least for the majority of December, I'm gonna be home because the semester ends like December 9th or 8th or whatever. But when we start back up in January, like through March, it's gonna be pretty rough. So I'll definitely have to like over winter break at least buy some boots.
Buy some boots, get a nice coat.
Yeah, I do have a good coat, so that's not a problem.
Yeah, keep your hands warm because I know my family's from Ohio, so I know exactly what you mean by like snow can get rough because I was unprepared for a majority of my childhood. Then go to Ohio and be like, wait a second, this is every day? Like every day? I just thought it was today. That's it? No, it's every single day. Like it's every single day. And I had to go out and buy like boots, and I had to go out and worry about my socks getting like soaked, because soaked is one thing. Next thing you know, it's gonna freeze because it's water. It's water. It's gonna freeze in your feet. Your feet are going to get colder than your rest of your body, and it's gonna cause it to go numb.
Yes, your toes are gonna fall right off. Honestly, though, I also wanted a pair. This is gonna sound maybe weird, but I wanted a pair of Uggs.
Okay.
Cause like sometimes I'm so lazy. I don't want to put on my sneakers to like go grab a snack at night or to go to like my one class that I have on Mondays. But I also feel like I need to dress up. Or at least look
Yeah,
decent.
don't wear Uggs, dress up. Please don't.
No, I'm just saying though, because like my roommate sometimes goes to class with sweats and Uggs, and I'm like, that looks so comfortable. So comfortable. But I always feel like I need to at least have like a nice sweater, maybe like a simple pair of jeans or something, so I don't look like a rat coming out of hibernation like
You
once
don't
a
come out
week.
looking like a rat. I hate that.
Oh my god. Uggs are kind of
Honestly,
expensive though.
my opinion on Uggs is that I think they're ugly. Like they're real ugly. But gosh darn, are they so warm? They're so warm. And
No.
when it comes to like snow and stuff, like please wear Uggs. Like please wear Uggs. If I could say anything, I don't care how ugly you look. I don't care if you're gonna look like a street rat walking into your next classroom. Just wear something warm.
I'm considering it. Uggs are pretty expensive though, like at least like 100.
Really? For those ugly shoes?
Yeah,
I
even
mean,
the like the short ones, like the ankle height ones are like 85. which is cuckoo.
Yeah. What? I'm so astonished because they're famous for how ugly they are, so I would think they'd make it cheaper.
Yeah. I think the lowest I've ever seen them is like 65 or something like that. I don't know.
You know what's also getting expensive? Crocs. For
Oh
like no
no,
reason.
yeah. My Crocs were like $40. And I've wanted other colors, but I'm not willing to spend that much right now. Not for them.
Have you ever watched the clip of Key watching looking at some Crocs and he was like, "This is the most ugly thing I've ever seen."
I don't know if I've
I don't know
ever
if you've ever
seen
seen
that.
that. I think it was on One Fine Day when they went to different countries and stuff.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's
He
kind
saw
of
some
funny.
Crocs.
He's funny.
He is very funny.
What a day. Talking about shoe shopping.
Talking about shoe shopping. Speaking of shoe shopping, I want to get like another pair of Converse for like no reason, just because I want a new pair.
Period. I had a pair of red high tops that I got rid of because I used to think that like blue was my favorite color, and I regret that so much. Now
You
that
can
red
always
is
buy
like,
a new pair.
I'm not gonna drop that much right now. It is what
Oh
it
my
is. We all make mistakes. But at least I still have my black ones, which I wear like literally all the time. I love Converse.
God. Oh, that's good.
Yes. I used to wear Vans a lot too, but like the ones that you tie. But I want like the slip-on ones.
Oh, you mean like the classic ones, like the classic Vans you can see with like the top portion
Yes.
thingy?
I like for some reason I like the checkered Vans. I don't know why.
I
I
mean,
don't
those are the
know.
classic ones.
Vans are also very expensive. And
Yes.
like my ankles are gonna be cold. So would I buy them now? Probably not.
Definitely for the snow that's about to hit your college. I mean, you wouldn't expect it, but Dallas actually had a lot of snow. So I
I
know
bet.
exactly what you mean with like college and snow and going to class in like freezing weather. Like I swear I would go to class in like half inch of snow. And some professors actually don't skip class. Like some of them do, and then some of them are like, you know what? There's salt on the campus. Like that would be enough. They'd be like, the salt's on campus. Just go in class. And I'd be like, oh, okay.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
And of course, I mean, Dallas standards, barely having any kind of like those like the floating ones that don't stick.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
the what are they called? Like they're floating, but they don't stick to the ground.
Like flurry?
Yeah, flurries. We had flurries a lot, and then that wouldn't count as snow, so they would stop class during that time, and it wouldn't stick until the very end of the day.
Oh
Like when we're finally
no.
out of class, or everyone's like finally finished their classes for the day. Oh my gosh, it would finally stick, and I'd be like, if this was even just a bit earlier, I would have had a class today.
That's crazy. Because sometimes it's flurrying, but like the wind is so strong that the visibility goes down like significantly.
Oh yeah. You still have to warm up your car. So even if you're late for class, you still have to warm up your car.
So I have to
Or else
clean
it
my car.
freezes. Uh,
Super annoying. It is what it is. That's the price that we pay.
the price that we pay of going to a college that is outdoors. There's some colleges that are indoors. And I'm like, sometimes I wish I went to a college that was indoors.
Right? Or they're like so not crowded per se with like people, but like with buildings. Like there's just so
Mhm.
much that there's not that big of a walking distance between like where you have to go.
Oh yeah. My college from one end to the other was like 30 minutes walk.
That's crazy. I think mine's only like 15, but if you walk fast enough, you can make it in like 10, I think.
Oh my gosh. That is so small. Your college is so small.
I know, we only have like 7,000 students. We're baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is really small.
Yes. Maybe I've just become more athletic because some people, they're kind of struggling to get up those hills, but I'm used
Oh
to
yeah.
it.
That's also the thing about college too. When you first start, you're like, oh my God, this is so crazy. I can't even walk this mount. Like I'm gonna die by the time I get class. And my senior year or junior year, just like, and I mean, I'm walking this point to next. I mean, it's gonna take me like 10 minutes. I'm gonna get some lunch. Like you eat your lunch, you finish it, and you still get class on time.
Yes. That's the thing I hate the most is like in between classes, like first trying to figure out if I'm going to eat, where I want to eat, how much time it's going to take me to get there, and then calculate based on the line how long it'll take me to actually get the food and then sit down and eat. It's so complicated because like oftentimes, especially like Tuesday, Thursday, I only have like an hour, maybe 30 minutes because I usually have like meetings. So I have to plan like to be at that meeting first and then eat, or to eat first and then go to the meeting. So it's like constantly the little clock is ticking in my head.
Yep. I relate entirely. I mean, that
Yeah,
was me. That was me overthinking every single thing.
yeah, it really
Oh,
forces you to manage your time much better than you used to. Some people still don't manage their time well. There's always that one kid that you see like absolutely booking it across campus. That's something.
booking it. Booking it. I feel like
Booking.
the one thing that I feel like I missed out by not going up north to go to college was I definitely wish I could see people like slip and fall in the snow. Like I don't want them to like
That's
I don't want them to like
terrible.
die or anything like that. I don't want to get severely injured. I just want people to just be so booking it that they fall in the snow. They're like, oh, whoop, and then they just face plant in the snow.
I'm
Like no
sorry.
harm, just pure hilarity for me to laugh at.
Yes. I've been both that person that has slipped and I've been a bystander. I've also been the person that has to like grip my friend's arm because I know they're about to go down. Like I have to stop it before they hurt themselves.
Amazing. The dynamic of it all. Like, I'm not a person who wants to see people like get hurt because I'm the type of person who doesn't like people seeing her hurt at all. Like, I'm like, I hate seeing that and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
as a person. But to see someone slip and fall in the snow, like just soft, fluffy snow, like nothing to get hurt from. Just
Right.
I feel like that'd be so hilarious to watch from a like eating your lunch in the corner and you see someone like slip and fall into the snow. Like that's hilarious to me. That is pure
Yes.
hilarity.
It is funny, honestly. I agree with you. I would laugh first and then help them if they needed it. But if I'm like sitting in a classroom, I will definitely point out the fact that somebody just fell outside. That's just how it is. I'm sure they would do the same for me.
Like not ice, but like the good fluffy snow, like something to catch them
Yeah,
and the
yeah, something that
grass.
won't hurt too much. Yes. I'm gonna have to start leaving for class slash work much earlier because I can't be sprint walking when there's
Oh
ice on the
no.
sidewalk.
You don't want to be that person who actually falls in the snow and being the person who is being laughed at on the side. But if it were me though, I'd laugh. I'd be in the snow, face planted, and everyone around me would just be laughing. And I'd just be like, I'm so sorry, I'm a freaking dumbass.
I know. It would be so uncomfortable though. Like imagine like your butt just being absolutely soaked and you sit in
Ooh.
class. Ugh, nightmare.
Like, I'd rather be my front. Like, I feel like the front could be able to be understandable. Like if I fell on the front side of my body, I feel like that'd be better. But like, can you imagine someone seeing like your butt completely soaked as you walk into class? Like, no.
Like it could definitely be interpreted in many ways. Like you either peed your pants or you fell.
You either peed your pants. Like you would just have to walk in class being like, guys, I fell in the snow. Just put that out there. Like put in the lecture hall, or you can just sit in the front of the class real quick and just say, for the record, I slipped and fell in the snow.
Oh my god. Honestly though, if it was uncomfortable enough, I'd probably just have to go change my pants. Cause you know, like chafing is a thing. If you get
Oh
your
yeah.
pants wet enough, that's gonna hurt.
Ooh, it's also gonna freeze over because it's like wet, and then it's gonna be
Oh,
water, so it's gonna freeze in the snow because it's cold.
I'm gonna start wearing snow pants to class. All you're gonna hear is the moving of the fabric with like every little inch that I move.
It's
It's
just
just so
wear astronaut
cheesy.
suit. Just wear an astronaut suit, so you would never have to worry about things getting into anything anymore with it freezing and the due to the cold weather.
See, that's sick. That's super funny though. I'm gonna bring it in. I'm gonna start the snow pant revolution. We're gonna
Do
start
it.
wearing like turtlenecks with snow pants and cardigans.
Turtlenecks and snow pants and cardigans with like 6-inch snow boots.
Yes, we're gonna wear Gucci leather gloves. We're gonna wear designer hats, earmuffs.
Honestly, with 6-inch snow boot, of course you wouldn't worry about things getting into your boots. But then again, you would be so high up that you probably fall in the snow every single time you start walking. So you will just be like walking with like 6-inch heels, like, I'm not worried about things getting into my boots at all. And you fall on your face every single time you walk.
Oh my god. That's the thing too. We have like a lot of staircases, and some of them are like not steep, but they made the stair too wide. So I have to take like two steps before I go down to the next one because my legs are not that long. Like some people I know, they're like 6 feet or like maybe like 5'9" and up. They can go one step, one step. I have to go like 1, 2, 1, 2, the whole way
Just go
down.
1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2,
Right?
3.
It's so goofy. I just know it's gonna be a mess. For some reason, like when I was a freshman, we weren't that crazy, but I feel like this freshman class, they're just gonna be like stumbling everywhere.
These poor freshmen. They didn't even get a chance to experience that first year of college. They're just there in the
Oh,
coronavirus.
yes. They're really going through it.
Yep.
Yes. I'm sad that it's like already getting dark out. Daylight savings has been messing with me. I feel like the days have been like way too long for the past like week since the time changed.
The days been going too long. I feel like it's going too short because it's like gets dark by like 5.
See, that's what everybody's been saying, but for me, it just feels like maybe I'm just yeah, here we go again. Maybe I'm not being productive enough. But I just like I feel like I've been sitting here for like 3 hours now. It's only been like an hour and 15.
So you're saying the time going by too fast in the case that you're saying like it feels like it's 3 hours even though it's only been 1.
Yeah, so it's like in actuality, it's going very slow, but it feels like I've been doing something for a really long time. I don't know if that makes sense. Like by 10 o'clock, I'm already like, I should be asleep, but I usually don't sleep until like 12 o'clock, maybe 1.
Okay, so you're still in that paradox right now. You're like, what time is it? And you're looking at the clock and you're like, it's definitely 5.
You're like, I look outside, I'm like, damn, it must be like 8 o'clock already. It's so dark, and it's like 5:30.
I feel like my
It's
day is
so
going on way too short. I'm like, I could have done this much. I could have done so much stuff today. The clock, you're like, oh, it's only 5. I could do stuff today. And then you're like, but it's dark. Maybe I shouldn't do anything else
yeah, but the
anymore.
day is technically over, so I'm not doing anything anymore. It really
Then
was
damn.
that.
All our friends in the Europes are probably like, oh my gosh, what are you saying? Like we by the time it gets dark here, it's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the
Right? I just keep thinking, like, since my parents are away on a business trip, they're in Vegas right now. And my sister and I had literally, like, we already had lunch. We already went shopping and got stuff that we needed. And they hadn't even had lunch yet when we got back home at like 2 o'clock. And I was like, time isn't real. They're like 3 hours behind. It's so weird because I usually text my mom every morning, like, good morning. And I realized, like, oh, I probably woke her up. It's like 4 a.m. I texted her like 7:30 in the morning. I felt bad. Cause I don't think she ever puts her phone on Do Not Disturb. I keep telling her because she gets mad when she gets like a lot of notifications at once. And I'm like, turn your ringer off. There's a really easy solution to this. Goofy.
But then again, like, how do you remember to turn off the ringer at night if you're so used to turning it on during the day?
Point. Yeah, she just never turns it off, period. It's always on. So I guess that's how it's gonna stay.
This is how it's gonna stay.
Yes.
That's just how it goes. There's no other way around it.
Right. I mean, my phone is on Do Not Disturb 24/7, but I have it so that if like certain people call me or if like my mom texts me, specifically her, then it'll still come through just because that's like important. Like, I don't even have my sister on that because if she texts me, I just know she's gonna send like 30 messages afterwards. So she can stay on Do Not Disturb. I'll go check that later.
Oops.
Yeah, because especially if she's like watching a show or watching a movie, she'll explain like every little thing to me or like react to every minute. So she's on Do Not Disturb all the time. I feel bad, but like,
That's so terrible. You're putting your own sister on Do Not Disturb, even though
I
she's
do.
taking the time and effort.
I do answer her. It's just, I don't know if it's like a sensory thing, but I hate having a lot of messages or like notice come at once. It like
Yeah.
genuinely upsets me. It's overwhelming.
I understand.
Yes. But then I have like post notifications on for like 30 different K-pop things. So like when it hits midnight in Korea, it's like 50 notifications
It's
from
like,
multiple groups.
or like comebacks that happen. Oh my god, that's every single day you have at least like. Also Instagram, because Instagram they do little portions of a photo,
Oh,
so it's just little portions of every
it's
photo.
so
So it's like 20.
terrible.
It's like 20
It's
when there's a
so
comeback.
terrible. I hate it. Like, why do they need to make a separate post for each little thing? Like, just make one big post, put all the pictures. You can put up to 10 pictures. Just put them.
They will look aesthetically pleasing, as look
True,
nice.
it is aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. The priorities though, you put your sister on Do Not Disturb, but then you put like shiny on like post push notifications like by like the absolute second. Like by the absolute second.
Me waking up and liking Key's posts before I do anything else.
Honestly, me too. I have the push notifications as well.
Yeah, I only have post notifications not for like specific people, like shiny members, or like I have your Instagram post notifications on.
You do? Oh my
I
god,
do.
cursed. Cursed. don't. I tweet about the most random ass stuff.
Even though I have them on, though, I don't like click them immediately because I don't want people to think I'm like weird. Like I don't want to be like first like on every single one of your posts.
Please don't.
Yeah, because I'm not a stalker. I just like to see what you're doing. That sounds like a stalker, but you know what I mean. Like I just like getting updates because I never post anything, so people I went to high school with probably think I'm dead.
Me too.
I haven't posted anything since, oh my gosh, like January? I'm gonna look. Yeah, January 11th. It's almost been a year. 2 more months.
Amazing, honestly.
Right. My impact.
But do you keep the ringer on? Like, do you hear the ding when you have like mistress? I absolutely hate the ding. Like, I absolutely hate having a ding.
Yeah, no, it's always on vibrate. Always.
On vibrate? Like, keep it on vibrate?
Yep. Do not
Okay.
disturb and vibrate 24/7.
Boop, boop. Damn, then what happens at 12 o'clock on Korean Standard Time? Zoop, 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 zoop.
Right? Well, since it's on do not disturb, it doesn't vibrate. That's the good thing. So if I take off do not disturb and keep the ringer off, it'll vibrate. But if I have do not disturb on, it just won't vibrate. So I'll just see like tons of things like just popping up on my screen, but I won't like feel it or hear it.
You should one day just keep it on vibrate and see how many vibrates you hear.
Stop.
What if it's just one long vibrate? It just goes zzz.
I'd be so upset. I'd be triggered.
At like 12 a.m. Like, wait, what time is it 2 a.m.? Like 4 a.m.? What is it?
4 a.m. is like that's like 6 p.m. Korean time for me, but 10 a.m. would be like midnight.
Oh, okay, yeah, 10. Me too. It's like around 10. Then yeah, you should have a 10 a.m. 10. You should test it one day. You have a 10 p.m. on vibrate, and then just like have the amount of zzz that should be coming in at the same time.
Hmm.
Are you going to see ATs?
I can't. They're coming to um New Jersey on a Monday, the week after my spring semester starts.
No, you can't go
Yeah,
see ATs.
I know. Because unfortunately, all my classes are going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday next semester, so I really can't miss.
How about the Chicago date? You can still go to Illinois, right?
Yes, I just need a plane ticket.
Yeah, I mean, if they have going to Chicago, you can probably that's your next bet if you want to go see ATs.
I would love to. The problem is I'll take my sister with me because they're her alt group. I would feel terrible if I didn't take her with me, but she's still in high school, so it's a lot harder for me to get her out of school.
Oh, okay. Then
It's
what are your other
okay.
options? I mean, there's
I'm
LA
gonna
and
just
there's
fly to Korea real quick. They are going to Europe, but I can't go to Europe right now. They're going to Atlanta.
They're going to Dallas. My friends are going, so they're going to Dallas.
Oh yeah, they are going to Dallas. Yeah.
Um,
They
they're
literally
going to
pick such random
Chicago.
days. Like they're gonna be in Chicago on a Tuesday. That I really can't do though because my semester starts January 18th, which is the day of the Chicago show.
Then how about that Monday? Wait a second. If you're going, is that first day of the spring of your semester? It's on Tuesday. Then
Yeah, and then that next Monday, but I just said I have 3 classes Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they're like core classes.
no,
Like, yeah, like more
no.
content. I know.
You
I
deserve
feel
to go
bad
see them.
for like the rest of Asia and like Oceania.
Oh yeah, true.
I feel so bad for them.
My cousin, she also likes K-pop as well. She lives in Taiwan. It's just not really my cousin. She's like she's like my great cousin, if you can say that. I mean, like she's like my grandmother's sister's daughter's daughter. It's a kind of tough to think about. Anyway, she also likes K-pop too. And when I was young, I used to be really close with her, and she told me she's going to see ATEEZ, and I was like, ATEEZ is going? Like, and she's like, yeah, ATEEZ is gonna be here. They're going to Taipei. And I was like,
That's
damn.
crazy. That's super exciting
And I was like, damn, good luck. Good luck trying to find tickets, because that's gonna be a real rough one. Because when it comes to Taiwan, only groups going to go to Taipei, so that's like one shot. One shot.
though. Oh my gosh.
The whole island. One shot.
That's crazy. I'm excited though for everybody that gets to see them. I know it's gonna be really good just because all the music they released in the past year has been really, really good. So
I mean, I wish you could have gone. I mean, like that's your group, like that's your
I know. One day I will. It's okay.
one day you will. One day I'll go see Shiny and be like, yo, that's so many countries, so many countries you need to go to before you die.
Right. Maybe it's a sign. Maybe I'm secretly saving up for a Shiny tour.
Ooh, let's go. When Shiny goes on tour again, we need to go.
We do. That's like no hesitation. I'll drop everything.
We do need to go. The thing is that, like, damn, like when Shiny was touring in the United States, they would only they did Chicago, and then they did Dallas, and then they did LA, and then they did Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was like, damn. But then again, you were still in high school back then, so I was like, damn, we couldn't have met.
Yeah, I could have gone.
We could have gone to Chicago together. I mean, that would have been great.
Or when they went to KCON. They were in New York.
I need to go to KCON. I need to in my lifetime. I need to go. I need to go.
That's like the only place you could see multiple people at once with one ticket.
I know. That's like the one thing I really want to go before I die, or go before like anything else happens. Like my life starts happening. Like, please. I need to go to KCON. We should really stay up 1 year and just go.
Yes. If not, I'll make my own concert. I'll just show up at SM.
Just show up at SM.
Just show up at SM with like a karaoke machine. Slowly coax them out.
Just do full-on wolf in the middle of in front of the SM building. Just like do the whole dance and everything.
They'll just hear me be like, Jinky, this one's for you, and then start singing.
Like he's at home, like he's even in headquarters at that moment in time, and you're just talking to like no one. He's not even in the building. Like some security's gonna like escort you out. Like what the hell, girl?
You know they probably have like bulletproof windows. They can't hear anything.
They can't. Like even if Jinky was actually in that building, you would just be stuck there. Like he can't even hear you. He'd probably just be like training or doing something in the basement, or being the awesome person that he is, probably like outside eating food
on a little hike or something.
On a hike.
Oh my god, that's crazy. It's funny to think about, but I would never invade their space like to that extent. Like I'm not a sasaeng.
Yeah, me neither. Like you'd probably get escorted out too. Someone would call the police.
Yeah, SM doesn't really joke around either. I would definitely have like a restriction order placed on me immediately. They would deport me.
You'd go back to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you didn't go to the SM building when you were in Korea, though, like, damn, missed opportunity.
I know. It was like 15 minutes away from the hotel too.
Why couldn't you just wing it and go? I would have walked.
My mom would have been like, for this?
Yes.
Uh,
People have seen idols come out of that building before.
yeah. I feel like the idols like get spotted the most are JYP. Like they're always seen either exiting or entering their building.
You could have seen anyone in JYP. You could have seen
Stray Kids.
Stray Kids. I mean, there's like 15 million of them, so
I could have seen so many.
I mean, there's a chance if you go to SML, you might see one of the 23,000 of NCT.
Very true. I think he bumps into one of the trainees without knowing it.
Like, sorry, and you're like, damn, that man is gorgeous.
They must be the new member.
Must be a new member. Must be a trainee. How old are you, kid? He's like 12, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah, I really like that. I really like having like 14-year-olds debut.
Why? We got some 10 liners here. You got some 11 liners.
That's
some
really
12
exciting.
liners.
Even my sister is older than them.
Oh my god. Can you imagine someone? I mean, we're getting younger and younger because we're getting older and older. So
True. I always think about that. Like there's gonna be a point where I'm never gonna be interested in standing a new group again. I'm just gonna be like too old. I'm just gonna stick with what I know.
the fact that you have stand ATs is already like a humongous feat. I mean, they're older than they should be when it comes to like the fact that they're older than like me. So we don't know. Maybe in the future they might be somewhere on your age. Maybe they won't.
Maybe, maybe. That's so crazy. So crazy.
I know, right? Like they're getting younger and younger. And I mean, like already you're kind of already picking the groups that are older unintentionally.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. It's just, I guess, the style of music that attracts me, and I also don't want to be a creep, so I kind of stay away from younger kids anyway.
You want to stay from younger kids. Like, I haven't thought about this recently, but BTS actually count as like an old group now.
Oh yeah, you're so right.
Because youngest member, Jungkook, is actually 1 year older than me. So he's actually 20, almost like 25 now.
That's crazy. Ew, they're old.
They're all like, I think Jin is reaching his 30s or beyond his 30s now.
It's about time for that man to enlist.
The fact that he hasn't enlisted yet shows that the government's trying to do something about it. And I don't like that.
I know. If everybody else had to, he can.
I know,
No
right? He
offense to any of
should.
the armies, but we do need a break from all that.
The thing is that Big Hit is trying to do something about being listed because they know people would riot in the streets if they had to go to the military service. And I'm like, why? Why is this not something that they can't do?
Yeah, I know. It's so annoying. It really is.
Like, it's their patriotic duty to like go. But I don't want to get involved in that because that's messy.
That's none of my business. But not to be that person, but you are a Korean citizen. Do your job. If 10 and Bam Bam, they flew back to their home country just to go through that process, despite 10 being injured anyway, and they were still willing to go through it, you should do it.
Is 10 going to the military service in Thailand?
No. He went through the process years ago, but they excused him because of his knee injury. Like he got surgery and everything, so he didn't have to.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying the fact that he still willingly went and did the whole process and was going to if he would have been chosen. Just go.
Mm-hmm.
But that's none of my business. That's funny.
It's just the whole
Honestly,
thing, man.
I will definitely keep up with the news surrounding that whenever the first member enlists. It's gonna be really interesting. Cause I just know it's gonna be really dramatic.
Oh, it's gonna be so dramatic. People are gonna like
And
riot in the streets. They're gonna protest. Some
they're gonna be
people are gonna
like,
go to the big hit building and try to like do something about it. And I'm like, please, can they just please go?
they're,
Like,
they're gonna be
please.
they're gonna be posting TikToks like, God, please keep him safe, and he's just gonna be like in the band. I can't breathe.
Just like being in the during the musicals, like the stuff that Onyu did for like when he was in the military.
Exactly. Like, oh my gosh, I can't. Trust me, the government will keep them safe wherever they go. Because
Oh yeah,
they need
definitely.
them for that money and rep.
Keep them safe. TikToks, I can't. Like
You know they're
they
gonna be
would never
crying on
put them in
TikTok.
danger.
What'd you say?
They would never put them in danger.
No,
Never.
not when they've done all that. Honestly, the one person that I think might actually end up doing something like um not social work, but whatever Baekhyun's doing right now, where it's not like heavy on the physical, is probably Yoongi because he had like his
Mm-hmm.
shoulder injury.
Yeah.
Everybody else, I feel like is just gonna do either like the police officer stuff or like band or
Yeah.
regular like whatever Jinky did, like just regular active duty. Because I don't see any of them going to the like Marines.
No. They don't
No,
have a Minho with them. They don't have a Minho with them.
they do not. No, you gotta want to be there.
I still can't believe that Minho, mostly idols. They go through the usual stuff. They do like the band, or they do like army, or they do like just stuff that doesn't really require too much craziness. And then you got Minho back here doing the Marines, staying back during the coronavirus period when you could have left to do his little like camp
He's
thing that he liked,
crazy.
that he really wanted to do, the crazy camp thing where you get to jump out of like airplanes
He's literally crazy.
and starve himself and eat whatever was possible in the forest.
Different breed, literally.
I still can't believe he stayed back that. He's like, and my friends are there and I wanted to stay back with them. And I'm like, Minho, are you kidding
You
me?
can hang out with them afterwards. Just go home. Honestly.
Then he got Key. Every single break he got, he was like, I'm having a break. Hey guys, I'm here. I'm on a break. Like he would like post actively. Like
Yes.
actively during
You
his
get at
lesson.
like a new restaurant every week.
He'd be like, hi guys, I'm on break. And the moment he got a chance to leave, oh my god, he left.
Oh
The
yeah.
moment he got a chance to leave,
He
he
was
was
ready.
like, hey guys, I'm back.
He was so ready. So funny. I appreciate them though. They're opposites, but they get along. That's what makes it work.
Yeah, they get along with each other. That's how it goes. That's family though.
Exactly. Speaking of family, I have to take my sister to go to the store, so I have to go.
All right, bye. Don't
Bye.
forget to press the record button. Bye.
Oh my god, yeah. Bye guys.